be said about Mega Man 2 that hasn't already? Especially by us. I mean, if you go here and you click and you look, you're gonna find out just like how much we talk about Mega Man. To many of us, it's a classic, but it always made me wonder what would happen if we peeled back that thin veneer of nostalgia and looked at a game again with the eyes of adults that have bills and obligations, if we'd be as forgiving with it. See, I can remember being a kid. It was 1990, I'd just seen Mega Man 2 on the shelves of Blockbuster right next to its predecessor and the chud that inhabited its cover. This one looked sleeker, and my friends at school told me all about it. Of course I had to rent it and beat that puppy in one weekend. That night, enveloped by the dull glow of my tube television, I saw this. But then I did this. Come on, like you read all that? I don't have time to read. I got things to do. I'm a kid. So now we come to our first choice, normal or difficult. As a kid, I didn't really think much of this. Some games I'd played prior had these kinds of choices within them. What I didn't know, however, was how these choices came about. See, Japan seemed to have a certain view of Americans. To them, we couldn't handle the balls-out Mega Man experience, so they decided to make an easier version for my poor, flabby American reflexes. But hey, whatever. We've made our choice, and we're on our way to our next choice. Where on earth do we begin with this delightful bunch of characters who just look so pleased to be here? Well, I can tell you that right now. It's easy. You go to Metal Man. Why? Because Metal Blade. But the thing about Mega Man games that makes them so frustrating and so amazing all at the same time is the feeling of exploration and the idea that you can really start anywhere. This usually happened when you were selecting bosses based on how cool they looked. I had the same problem in Mega Man X, and I found myself getting wrecked over and over by Storm Eagle. So what's going to happen to the uninitiated, much like what happened to me, is you're going to go globetrotting for a little while. You're going to fight other bosses, you're going to realize you're not that effective against them, and then you're going to wise up and realize you probably should have gone and fight Metal Man to begin with. After that comes wondering who's next. Like any sensible person, I always thought it would be Woodman. To this day I think it's Woodman, but it's only because Wood usually doesn't stand up too well against a buzzsaw. Turns out though, it's Bubbleman, even though Bubbles, don't really stand up against anything. Honestly, a light breeze can take out a bubble, so, I mean, why not Airman? But anyway. Oh, jeez, that background. Oh, God. I don't know who designed that background, but it must have been the same guy who animated that episode of Pokemon where Porygon made all those kids regret waking up on Saturday morning. Eye cancer aside, one of the first things you're going to experience on this level is the Metal Blade. Most notably, how amazingly overpowered it is. You can shoot forward ways, back ways, up ways, down ways, even diagonal ways. This makes it an overtly powerful weapon, and it doesn't cost much to use. Seriously, you could probably go the entire stage using Metal Blade without picking up a refill and still have enough blades left over to help someone craft that wood statue they've been meaning to do. So now you're on to one of the easiest bosses in the game. Even on difficult, where the bosses take a few extra hits, this guy is easy. Look, watch, I'm not even going to move from my spot and beat him. Ta-da! It's like using a stick to change channels on your TV when you lost the remote. Only it's a really old TV, because that's how we used to do it back in the 90s when we'd lose the remote, if we had a remote. So after an encounter more disappointing than my prom night, we head over to Heatman, because obviously bubbles are the only thing that can stop this renegade Zippo. Now the boss is easy, but there's one thing in his stage that's a bit of a troubling trend in Mega Man games. Disappearing platforms. I'd never played Mega Man 1, so I had no idea about these things. When you first encounter them, it's fine, the room is enclosed, and the only danger is the spring Roomba scooting along the bottom. Timing is easy, and there's multiple ways you can complete this one. The second time around, let me tell you, if there was an Olympic event for stress eating a couch with your butthole alone, I'd have won it, because every time I come to this part, I get anxiety from deep within. Even the sound of the blocks throws me into a fit, like I'm reliving some kind of nightmare there's no waking up from. It starts out innocently enough too. Blocks come up, and then you get that one troll block above your head that you're going to forget about a lot. Overall, not bad. Here we are about to go over the lava. What? Seriously, at a roll like that? Yeah, you don't get too much time with these blocks when they show up. But whatever, get past it and we're away from the lava. I'm not sure what kind of weirdo goes for an extra life just hanging out in the middle of nowhere, but yeah, whatever, it's not my business. Here we are. Oh boy, we're about to oh, come on! I was right there! This is a total beginner's trap. Even if you've played this game before, it's easy to forget things like this exist. I certainly forgot the pattern and wound up getting bucked off that particular bowl and into the abyss a number of times. I'd call it unfair, but the game does tell you ahead of time that blocks like this can appear. The only problem is there's no real indication of when or where. They just happen. And if this is your first time around, you won't just mess up a few times. No, it'll be a lot just to get the pattern down. But eventually you'll get through it and throw bubbles at a lighter to beat the heat, man. God, I should really fire my writer, which is me. Oh, jeez. Also, can we talk about these in-between mission messages? They were a lot better in later Mega Man games. They were much faster and didn't take up as much time, but whenever Dr. Light comes in and tells you, "Oh, Mega Man, you got the IO1, boy," it always seems like it goes by so slow. Granted, it's a lot better than the whole levels being derailed due to voice acting or something like that. You know, it's just minor nitpicks here and there. Just throw whatever I need to know on screen and let me go shoot more robots. So after Heatman, we go fight Woodman and have an even more disappointing boss fight. Although it is kind of cool to see where the charged up shot came from. After this, it's Airman, because leaves sure do beat air. Anyway, get to the stage, go to fight Airman, and we select our leaf shield. Wait, what? What the hell is it? Where's the leaf shield? We only have a couple of weapons on hand, and... Oh. Okay. Okay, W. You know, for leaf shield. What the hell does W have to do with... What's it supposed to be, a weaf shield? Seriously, what is it a W for Woodman? Because no one cares who had it. Are you honestly going to remember that guy? No, no one does. Get out of here, Woodman. You smell like a bird's nest. Bubbleman is more memorable than you, and his power can be replicated by a 5-year-old frolicking in the front yard. Anyway, Airman's gone. Go fight Crashman. No one cares. Go fight Flashman. No one cares. Go fight Quickman and discover the most useless ability in the game. So you're supposed to use Flashman's ability during the fight. Problem is, it only drains about half the energy bar before Quickman starts doing parkour again and flails around like a Ritalin kid in a ball pit. You just have to sit there and wait for the ability to drain. Seriously, it's like homework the ability. Mega Man 3 had an ability similar to this one, but at least you could shoot with that. But then, with each of the 8 robot masters a pile of rubble at our feet, we move on to confront our true foe, Wily. Jesus, this music just gets you going, doesn't it? I'm telling you, Capcom and Konami are 2 companies that really had the market cornered for in-level music. But the music on Wily Stage 1 isn't the only memorable thing here, no. No. There's something far more sinister here. Platforms. Okay, so let me level with you here. There's a lot about the Wily stages that are awful. They're usually just difficult for the sake of being difficult. But this bit? It's not because you're going to die. No, it's way worse than that. No, this is awful because you're going to waste time. And I mean a lot of time. See, you'll go up this ladder, you'll see this wide expanse. You've only got one item that can get you across this, and it just so happens to be item 1. That's a joke, not really. So you throw platforms and totally miss your target, because unless you sit down and practice this game like you're going into some sort of Super Mega Man 2 Turbo tournament, you will miss. If this is your first time through, you're going to miss it. Seriously, the playthrough we did, John missed his jump so many times. And I've seen him game. He isn't that bad. Seriously, look at this guy. He's like me, held to control him more than a woman. So when you run out of platform juice, you'll have to make the pilgrimage back to the center of the level to collect power-ups from these... I don't know. They kind of remind me of those tubes that are filled with water and that you jiggle around. They're filled with plastic fish. I got no idea what they're called or even what they're used for, except for, never mind. So you fill up, go back, don't reach the ladder, go back, fill up, go back, perform an ancient blood ritual to summon a dark god of platforms, and finally get to the ladder. With those 4 hours behind you, you'll find absolutely nothing else of any real challenge. Except for the dragon. That's just dragon. Please, I kill those in my sleep. Yeah, second level's not so bad, so let's skip talking about that boring garbage and move on to stage 3. So we move along the stage, reenact Jaws, and come to number 2 on our annoying Wily Traps tour. You see this pit? Get a good look at this pit, because you might be getting really intimate with it. So you fall, okay? Well, you fall again. Oh, please stop. You fall to the third screen, dead. Okay, so you just gotta adjust yourself so you can fall. Except this is easier said than done. You'll go too far, not far enough, you'll be frustrated, start screwing up, dead. You do not have the lives for this adventure, so unless you're really good, you'll be seeing that game over screen. This is another beginner's trap to extend the life of a game. A brutal design, just like the blocks in Heatman stage. It's really difficult to get through, but once you've mastered the art of Zen and found your center, the rest of the level just sort of becomes easy. In fact, it's smooth sailing from here. Nah, I'm kidding, it's not at all. The next stage is like a Tom and Jerry cartoon, but with all the pain and none of the laughter. So stage 4 starts, climbing a ladder, going along, everything is fine, when suddenly... Yeah, you go through a floor. It's like Kevin McAllister built this friggin' level, because this isn't the only one you encounter. No, not at all. You find a ton of these sprinkled around, even over spike falls. It's like watching American Ninja with how many falls there are. And if you think that's not annoying, then prepare yourself for the unbridled rage that is, I don't know, Living Fortress? What is this? Orb room? Yeah, okay. Where do I even begin with this? Well, first of all, when you enter, it's not entirely clear what you should be doing, so you're going to waste your time and energy trying to do everything you can to shoot these things. Once you figured out that it's crash bombs, you're probably dead. So you come back, fight this thing again, only to figure out that you don't have as much room for error with these crash bombs. At all. If you screw up once, or you misuse your platforms, you might as well die and go back and pray to your various gods that these Sniper Joes will give you the time of day to grace you with a weapon refill. This boss feels like the worst of all the previous traps. See, before it was either a waste of your time or a waste of your lives. This is both. You're going to waste time trying to figure out this nonsense and farm up, all the while wasting lives on either the farming or the boss itself. To top it all off, the invisible floors from earlier just exacerbate things when you have to play the level over. There's no question in my mind that this was my least favorite bit, and it's left such a bad taste in my mouth. You have to remember also, we couldn't just go online, look up keyword Mega Man, how to not to suck. No, you either figured it out on your own, or you had Nintendo Power. I was not that fortunate. And so, after bludgeoning yourself against that boss and finally beating him, it's time for the final showdown, which is pretty easy. You shove as many metal blades and boomerangs as can fit into another man, only to have Wily escape. Of course. So then you chase him down and... Jesus Christ, someone get David Duchovny on the phone! So you fight the alien Wily, and you know what kills me about this fight? It's the fact that you have to figure out what kills him. Nothing else is going to do damage to him except for one thing. Bubbles. Yep. Bubbles hurt aliens. It's too bad Jeff Goldblum didn't figure that one out. Would have saved a lot of time. But you destroy the alien, discover Wily's secret underground disco tech, and save the world once again. Hooray. And that's Mega Man 2. So, how does it rate? Great. It's amazing. It's a fantastic game. Yes, I'll admit, there are some things here and there that bother me, and some parts that feels like it was cheating me. But those are just minor nitpicks to the fun I still have playing this game. Even as a kid, when I'd throw my controller down in frustration, I'd pick it back up and try again because I liked the game. I look back on it fondly, and even now when I feel my eye twitch at the noise of a disappearing block, I can remember a lot of good things. I didn't really play the rest of the series on the NES. I played 7, and I played a lot of Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo, but Mega Man 2 was an experience I was glad to have had. It's a fantastic game, and it's no wonder that people look back on this and remember how good the character was and why they want a new Mega Man game that's like the older titles. And besides, the last thing they want is some bastardization of the original to be released. Heaven forbid that happen. Hey guys, thanks for watching this retrospective video. If you want to see more of this, click that subscribe button up there. You won't regret it, I think. If you want to see more of that Mega Man 2 playthrough, you can click over here in the direction that you can't see me pointing in. And if you want to see other videos done by us, you can click over here in the other direction that I'm pointing that you can't see either. Thanks guys, and have a good one.